Welcome back. These guys are counting off while they spam one. Full confession, I have done this part up to where we're going to see some dead dude on the floor in a second. I was recording and then I blue screened and lost the recording. So rather than continue from the autosave and skipping everything in between, I'm just going to redo this part. I stopped recording pretty much after that. That blue screen and losing everything kind of bummed me out. So it's been like a week since then. So despite the fact that I've done this part, I actually don't really remember much. I don't think I lost that much now that I think about it, because I think we're just going to walk in and then dead dude on the ground and like the samurai is our friend. I think it's mostly dialogue that I lost, but alas, we shall repeat it. 1-1, Shifu, 99 callouts. All 99 members are most likely here and accounted for. Hey you, yeah you, the second number 1 from my right. Sir, yes sir. Here, a birthday present for you. What? Shifu, I didn't know that you knew all of our birthdays, which is impressive given that these guys are all, with the exception of home dude on the right with the red tie, these guys are all identical. What a kind heart you have, Shifu. You are more of a man than we'll ever be, sir. I'm really sorry, but it's not my birthday. Or is it? Lang Zi says, a cub who disrespects others soon feels the disciplinary bite of an elder. That present isn't for you. It's for your younger brother's wife's younger brother. Man. So he apparently knows all of these guys. He knows their family, so he knows their siblings. He knows who their siblings are married to. And then he knows the siblings of the wife's of the sibling's wife. And once again, that's going off the fact that these dudes are all identical. So that's impressive. Tell him I said hi and happy birthday, won't you? Yes, sir. He's like, I don't have a brother, sir. Shifu, I can't believe you remember that much about each of us. Shifu, I'm so moved that I can't stop crying. Was I capable of just pushing spacebar and, like, advancing the text this whole time? Like, every time I typed really slowly? I should probably leave them to their alone time. Alright, meeting over. Everyone head to your posts. Dismissed. Sir. I feel like I've tried it before and it didn't work. Like when they do the very slow text. Yo, were you guys there the whole time? I got a call from Sheena and she's already filled me in. It sounds like you're out to get in my way again. I have absolutely no intention of interrupting your investigation. I simply request that you grant me permission to investigate the blah 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 embassy. And what if I say no? Agent Lang, this man is my subordinate. As I have received permission from the ambassador, he is to be extended the same rights. Sorry sis, but it's not that simple. Alabast has the strictest immigration regulations in the world, or didn't you know? Even among my elite men, only about half of them were admitted into the country. Besides, any more cooks in the kitchen and we might spoil the soup if you get what I mean. How dare you make such assumptions? Don't take this the wrong way, but I thought I was in charge of Alabast, Miss Von Prama. Grr. Look, try to understand, okay? Things over in Alabast are a bit of a mess right now. What do you mean by a bit of a mess? No one told you? We had an incident in Alabast as well. This is what we call a decision based on the investigation, Mr. Prosecutor. Look, Wolfie, just let us in already. Is there a problem here, Agent Lang? Not really, just having a discussion about whether or not we let these guys in. Ambassador Alba, I ask that you please allow these people to join the investigation. Having a debate because of my country. I'm terribly sorry for placing good people in that kind of situation. It is all because I lacked the strength to govern well. Please, it is nothing of the sort, Ambassador. You weakling, Quercus! Curse your family and your inability to effect change in your country. What are you? The thing is, investigations conducted in my country have been under Agent Lang. And it is my judgment that in order to minimize disruption in the investigation, I should leave everything up to Agent Lang. There, you see? Oh, no way. Ambassador Alba, I ask that you please reconsider letting them into Alabast. What's that? My very own secretary has been murdered in the Babalese embassy, and he was apparently caught up in some very shady dealings completely unbeknownst to me. So I ask for your cooperation in our investigation. These aren't much, but I hope they can cover your travel expenses to Babal someday. Alright, I get it. Even if you beg Ambassador Alba, I still have to get the final okay anyway. Alright, you hear that, Mr. Edgeworth? We're in. Not so fast, my little crow girl. You're still a witness in the Babal murder. So I'd like you to please stay in the Republic of Babal. Detective Gumshoe, please take good care of Kay for me. Yes, sir. Sounds good to me. The fewer troublemakers, the better. Rasp. Double rasp. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes? So I wanted to ask for a while now, but that lady over there, is she who I think she is? Ah, that's right. I didn't introduce the two of you yet. Franziska von Karma, the prosecutorial prodigy. It's nice to see you again. Oh, I know it. You're the whip lady. You may address me as... You can't be angry at that when you quite literally are the whip lady. It is like your one distinct feature. I have the investigation of Alabast in your hands. Thanks. Rest assured, I will outsmart both the smuggling ring and the Yatagarasi. The smuggling ring, huh? Perhaps I should ask Franziska more about them before I head into Alabast. Ah, and I mustn't forget to thank Ambassador Paleno for all that he has done for me. Alright, so I need to talk to people. You, tell me more. You made so much progress in your investigation in such a short period of time. It's truly amazing. Agent Hicks, whose help I have requested, was cut down before he completed his task. I remember that. There is no room for further failure in my perfect investigation. In spite of that, I believe you were able to obtain some insight into the ring, correct? It was nothing. I simply made some deduction based on the smuggling item I was following. You mean the Babalese ink? But why are there restrictions on the export of Babalese ink to begin with? That's classified Interpol information. Franziska, as your subordinate, I am part of your investigation now. Don't you think it would be beneficial if I was as well informed as you? Point taken. Very well, I'll fill you in. Recently, we discovered some very well-made counterfeit bills circling in Zhangfa. Counterfeit bills? Yes, as you may have deduced, the counterfeits are being made with Babal's special Babalese ink. And it's virtually impossible to distinguish bills made with Babalese ink from real ones. Thus, it was only natural for Interpol to keep an eye on the Republic of Babal. That's where this document comes into play, correct? Correct. Mr. Cochin was smuggling large amounts of Babalese ink. Furthermore, he was charged with running the embassy's printing equipment. That's all the evidence I need to know that he was the head of the smuggling ring. However, there remains one tiny problem, and I guess you still have yet to find the counterfeit bills or the smuggled ink. Yes, and while we're listing things, I might as well add the counterfeit plates to the pile. Since we haven't been able to locate any of these items in the Babalese embassy, we're looking into the Alabastian embassy next. It doesn't matter where they're hidden, mark my words, I will find them. Counterfeit bills, gotcha. I'm gonna thank this guy. Alright, in your debt? No, it is nothing, because it's about all I can do for you, I'm afraid. I only ask that you please bring Manny's killer to justice. I will, Ambassador, on my honor. Wow, you're so sensational, you really piqued my curiosity. I know they aren't much, but know that I'm giving them to you wholeheartedly. No, that's quite alright. Oh, well, how about this then? What exactly is that? It's fountain pen ink. Known as Babalis ink, it's made exclusively in Babal. So this is Babalis ink. We make it from white crystal oil, which is mined through our mineral mines. Please accept this ink. One dip of your fountain pen in this, and you can write for hours in your organizer. How fortunate for me. The ink in my pen just happened to run out. I gladly accept your gracious gift. Great, wonderful. I guarantee you that writing with our ink is an unforgettable experience. And since we don't export it, if you run out, you're always welcome to come and visit our fair nation. Talk about cornering the customer along with the market. Shall we get going? What's wrong, Kay? I didn't get permission to enter Alabast, so we're gonna go gather whatever info we can over on the Babalis side, okay? Alright, I'm counting on you two. Right, and I'm counting on you and Miss Von Karma to sniff out clues in Alabast. Oh, and Mr. Edgeworth, if you happen to come across my phony, you let me know, okay? If you tell me, I'll rush over straight away no matter where you are. I'll let you know when the time comes. Yeah, that guy. So, dude in samurai outfit is my friend, and I blue screened while investigating the corpse. What do you think you're doing to my subordinate? You're edgy. Oh, thank the heavens you're here. I'm in a really, really big pickle, your lordship. The raven, it appeared, poof, and then disappeared, swoosh. And though I am the steel samurai, my sword, it... Wow, I'm so confused. I don't know what anything means anymore. Who is... Who is this fruitcake? I am Larry of the House of Butts, married man of Neo-Old Tokyo, milady. Now I remember, this person is one of your friends, isn't he, Miles? Yes, frighteningly enough, he is. Hey, what's up with that answer? Your best bud is in a bind and you act like it's no big deal? What sort of bind are we talking about here? The suspect kind. I accidentally became a suspect in a murder. I see, that is quite the bind. Not that we're in the least bit surprised. Yes, I pretty much expected this news. From the instant I saw this unlucky face. His name is Larry Butts. I've known him since grade school, and for as long as I've known him, he has been the world's largest source of trouble with a capital T. Hey, what kind of introduction is that? You're so mean, edgy. If you're not careful, you might find your tiny number of friends go down by one. That was uncalled for. Besides, you're... Wait, hold on. Larry, it was you! You're the one who wrote my Steel Samurai autograph. Oh, you didn't notice earlier? I even winked at you through my headpiece. What's going on, and why are you beet red? Sorry, but could you not speak to me right now? Oh, sorry, am I interrupting your comical yet melodramatic play? At least he admits it's funny. So this is the incident you mentioned earlier. Mr. Prosecutor, this man, this childhood friend of yours, is our prime suspect. Of what, you ask? Of the murder of a man who had snuck into this embassy. Mask de Mask 2. Mask star de Mask 2? Only Larry could get himself into yet another mess as fine as this is. But no matter what the facts seem to say, Larry is not the type to commit murder. Still, it's a rather daunting stroke of misfortune I've struck. I have to prove that Larry Butts is innocent of all wrongdoing. Shifu, we've identified the victim. Good work. I'll take the report now. Agent Lang, would you mind if I take a peek at that as well? What did I tell you earlier, Mr. Prosecutor? Don't get in my way. There's only enough flesh here to feed one wolf, and that one is me. So no, you may not take a peek. But Agent Lang... Friend... Agent Lang, will you allow an investigator such as myself to take a look? Ah, yes, of course. You let the detective see the file. You're Detective Bad. You're the prosecutor, Mr. Edgeworth, right? Fancy meeting you here, Detective. You weren't expecting me? Ever since that day 7 years ago, I've chased after the Yatagarasu non-stop. I even pressured Interpol into keeping me in the loop in case a card was ever found. What incredible deduction to the case, or dedication to the case. Detective Bad knows the Yatagarasu's MO very well, and his passion for the chase hasn't died down in the 7 long years. It's something I can respect. But Detective Bad, I must ask, are you going to make an ally out of this prosecutor? My only goal is to arrest the Yatagarasu. If he can get to the bottom of this case, then I'm willing to share info with him. I'm in your debt, Detective Bad. About the murder of Damask 2, would you be willing to fill me in on a few of the details? When the Yatagarasu showed up, Agent Lang and I took ourselves off guard duty, and put ourselves in charge of directing things at this crime scene. Taking advantage of the chaos, Damask 2, he broke into this embassy. Probably to steal some treasure or another. And I suppose he lost his life when he was forced to fight someone else in this room? Why exactly was that man placed under arrest, Detective? That samurai? He was born looking suspicious, but not for the reason you suspect, I assure you. As you can plainly see, he is completely harmless. Well, it was just a random guess. It's not like he's actually under arrest. Tonight, here at the Alabastian Embassy, Ambassador Alba was to give a commemorative speech, and that's when the Yatagarasu showed. But keeping in mind, the Yatagarasu isn't who I'm talking about right now. Those seats for the guests who had been called to sit in them were empty. A no-show? Who was it that failed to take their seats? The Steel Samurai. Until the speech was to begin, each member of the entire Steel Samurai family was to wait in a separate room. However, for some weird reason, that man was spotted in a different location than his assigned room at that time. And where was he? He was on the roof, with one of his legs down the chimney. That chimney leads directly into this room. Larry Butts, you really outdone yourself this time. What were you thinking? In any case, I believe it's time for me to start my investigation. Larry. Nice flowers. These are decorative plants here as well. This room is overflowing with nature. Humans used to live in the grandeur of nature once long ago. I believe I'm not mistaken in thinking that these people truly love the nature. This coming from a man who loves shows featuring costumed actors. She just had to go there again, didn't she? Yeah, this is where I blue screened. So when I blue screen again, then this scene is just cursed, apparently. So this is the victim, Damask 2. What is with his gaudy outfit? You don't know about Mask Damask? A few months ago, this thief caused a lot of havoc on the populace. So this thief is separate from the Yatagarasu. I thought they were for a while because their MO and targets were different. Damask likes high-value trinkets and jewels, and being gaudy is his signature. Gumshoe was in charge of that investigation, so he'd know more about Damask. That's alright. I'll probably hear all tales of his failure anyway. You haven't changed a bit, I see. In any case, let's get started here, shall we? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious thing. Well, there's the body. Not a single shred of fashion sense in Damask's costume. But at least I can appreciate the great effort he must have put into making it. You two don't know, you can buy this costume almost anywhere now. It's being sold since when? Since around New Year's, the streets are practically flooded with them. Turns out Damask is a lot more popular than I thought he'd be. I can't believe that foolish fool would dress in fool's clothing to act foolishly. We got your point about 3 foolish-isks aback, Francisca. Whatever's in his hand. It looks like a piece of paper from a notepad. It would appear that directions on how to reach this room were written by hand. There's something written on the back as well. I'd like you to steal the Primadux statue in this room. What is that supposed to mean? Who writes a note to themselves like that? If I had to guess from the text, I would say that this is actually a request from someone about what to steal. Just who is the person that requested the theft of the Primadux statue? I thought that Damask had quit the business. This guy, he's just a copycat using the name, a phony successor. He's just another petty thief. His real identity is an out-of-work guy by the name of Kashino. He's 29 and wanted on larceny charges. From his clothes and what he was carrying, we determined that this guy is the real Damask 2. The cause of death appears to be the loss of blood from the back of his head. It seems that he was struck with something very hard. In other words, he was bludgeoned to death. So this is the murder weapon in the case. There's blood on the blade. It's a rather sweeping sword, isn't it? What did you expect? It's Steel Samurai Daddy's secondary weapon. I only call it a secondary because although he uses his sword in most of his battles, it's his trusty samurai spear that he turns into a real fight. You sure know quite a bit about the Steel Samurai. That's only because I saw the Sage show earlier. The owner of the sword is the Steel Samurai, or in other words, Larry. I should probably ask him about it, as detrimental as it is to proving him innocent. I suppose this was the wrapping cloth Damask 2 used to carry his stolen goods, but there's nothing wrapped in it now. I guess he never did manage to get his hand on whatever it was he was out to steal. Oop, that's that. Shit. Don't want to repeat that dialogue. Anything else? I think that's everything. Yep, I think that's everything. This must be Ambassador Alba's desk. His notebook is not on his desk. He must have been in the middle of some important work. Sapling growth log. It finally sprouted today. Funny, doesn't look like important work to me. Two gorgeous flowers are in full bloom here. I'm sure flowers as lovely as these must have had an equally as lovely name. Miles Edgeworth, are you done staring? I should hardly think passion flowers are all that rare. Passion flowers? That's a rather unusual name. It was named by priests in the 15th century for the Passion of Christ. As I say, you learn something new every day. It's a fireplace, and by the looks of it, I don't think it's been used recently. Yes, I can't say that I see anything unusual about it. The person shaking hands with the Steel Samurai in this picture is Ambassador Alba. It was taken just before the murder. The Steel Samurai must be very popular. They're even using the National Treasure as backdrop. I just don't understand what exactly is so great about Top Not There. Clearly there is a depth to this show that a young person like you can't fathom. Speaking of young people, aren't young children the target audience of this show of costumed actors? Another dig at me. The counterpart of the Babalese butterfly is the alabastian flower. The butterfly and flower, they're both lovely things. But can we interpret this to mean that Alabast provides honey to the ball? Francisca, can't you come up with a more meaningful or profound comment? Very well then, let's hear what sort of profound comment you can come up with. Well, flowers cannot survive without the butterflies that spread their pollen, and butterflies cannot live without the nectar that the flowers provide. If either one were to disappear from the equation, neither would survive. How was that, Miss Von Karma? Your explanation took so long that I nearly fell asleep. Let's continue the investigation. Why can't you just admit that I had something there? There are some weapons on display on this wall, a crossbow, and under that, a set of knives bearing a flower motif. They must be the counterparts of the Babalese knives, which means that the blades inside these scabbards should match the blades that was used to kill Mitrokochin. I won't rest until I've inspected everything. Why is there a weapon display in this first place? I wonder why there are no whips on display here. Knives adorned with flowers are on display here. I suspect that these are the counterpart. Okay, I am not crazy. I can't use spacebar to skip everything. One of the knives is missing. Yep, that's the one that was used to kill. Let's see if the two pieces, the blade and handle, fit each other. It would appear that they fit together quite well, almost seamlessly. This means that an alabastian knife did find its way into the ball. But how? It's the Steel Samurai's primary weapon, the Samurai Spear. Isn't it awesome? I totally fell for this thing. It's sleek and shiny just like my heart. It comes at you like whoosh. When you hold it, you just want to live life like bam. You do well to watch what you say, Larry. Although it's just as Larry says, the spear is quite the symbol of valor. However, speaking of spears, aren't you supposed to use them by thrusting the point straight into your opponent? I'm not entirely convinced the spear is up to that task. What's wrong, Edgy? You're just staring off into the distance. Oh, I get it. Tell you what, I'll tell the studio to make you one, okay? But this one's mine. Did I say anything about wanting one? Maybe I can shut him up if I show him the piece of evidence that will point something is off about the spear. I mean, the tip. I assume is what we're getting at here. Because I've never... Like, if you're supposed to... it's got like a weird... Like, the blade isn't straight. Like, it goes up and then dashes. But I don't know, can I introduce that? I don't think I have anything. He's holding a sword in that statue. Yeah, none of this makes sense, so no. Oh my god, that's terrifying. I just noticed that looks like the dude. What is that plant supposed to be? Francisca, can't you see that it's supposed to be the likeness of Ambassador Alba? Miles Edgeworth, as a subordinate, you have a lot of nerve telling me what to think. I look forward to your salary assessment next month. You are deluding yourself if you think you have any control over that. I can spot absolutely no difference between this Primaduck statue and Babal's. The statue's face looks a bit like that costumed hero you liked so very much. I only wonder why you Americans have such an affinity for this kind of... Are we in Japan? The statue wasn't made by an American, you know, at least... Actually, maybe we're not. Miles Edgeworth isn't very Japanese. But then they also talked earlier about, like, how hard it is to get a gun if you're not a police officer. But that is very not true for America. I think I'm done here. Larry, there are a few things I need to ask you about. Hey, how about that? I've got a few things I gotta ask you too. What is it? It's like, both you and him. How is it that the two of you always manage to have some cute or hot girl by your side? And Francie, what about that promise you made to me? Promise? What promise? The one where you said you would model for my next book, Francie's Whippity Whip Trip. Yow. I made no such promise. Ever since grade school, we've had a certain saying about Larry. When something smells, it's usually the... Jesus. One needs to look no further than this man to find the king of troublemakers. Steel Samurai. As I recall, aren't you calling yourself Lawrence Donim now? That's Deoxnim. Lawrence Deoxnim. Get that straight in your head, Edgy. Ow, 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 ow. Now I remember, you're that rude, pale imitation of a real artist. No, you've got it all wrong. I gave up on that whole Laris business. Besides, when Banjolin left me, Banjolina left me in my heart in pieces, that's when Mindy walked into my life. She's been so good to me that I wanted to help her in some way, and I figured I could through this Steel Samurai outfit. Your insane blathering makes less and less sense each time we meet. I believe he's saying that he picked up this part-time job as the Steel Samurai so that he may attempt to capture the heart of the actress who plays the Pink Princess. You got it. I knew you'd know what I meant, Edgy. Not really. It's not so much as I understood, but a simple deduction based on your usual modus operandi, Larry. The time of murder. Larry, I'd like you to confess right now to everything you did tonight. Confess? Hey, don't tell me you suspect me too. Nonsense. I don't believe you have the mental... However, we are talking about you here, so I find it hard to believe that nothing happened. From past experience has taught me that you are always at the center of some insane event. Edgy, how can you be so mean, stabbing me with your words like that? Unfortunately, I don't have the time to search out a key to unlock your heart this time, so I suggest that you cooperate and tell me what you know. Okay, I get it. Just stop Francie from whipping me from behind. So I guess you know what I did, right, Edgy? I can't even begin to imagine. However, I imagine that whatever you were up to was probably beyond my imagination. So will you tell me what exactly you did, Larry? Nope, not yet, Edgy. It'll take more than that to loosen my lips. You want to go to jail, buddy? A whole lot more. Confess now. Oh, okay, well, I was up on the roof. And why exactly were you up there? Oh, you know, that wintry custom and the legendary hero. Legendary? Hero? Santa Claus. Santa? Claus? I wanted to do that thing he does, so I climbed up to one of the chimneys. But when I got there was smoke pouring out of the chimney. And? Well, I couldn't go down the chimney with smoke coming up, right? So I gave up. Larry, you do realize that Santa Claus does not exist, right? Of course I know. I did graduate from junior high, you know. And you should also understand this. If Santa was real, he would be the biggest unlawful trespasser in history. Aw, crud. It is your attempt to imitate Santa that has landed you as prime suspect in this murder. Come on, man. What's so wrong with pretending to be Santa?
Objection!
Let's start with the fact that it will be the ideas of March in a matter... It will be the itis of March in a matter of hours. Santa only visits home on December 24th. That's in December, you nitwit. No. Hey, wait a second. We're not in court. Larry, about the samurai sword that was used as the murder weapon. Oh, that? Well, I shook hands with the ambassador in this room, you know. Yes, apparently you did. And well, I totally forgot about it and left it behind when I left afterwards. You want to talk about shock? I was the most shocked of all when I heard it killed somebody. Shocked! Foolish fool, looking especially foolish for foolishly stating such a foolish excuse. You forgot to take something that big with you? Who would believe such a tale? Sorry, Miss Von Karma, but I believe him. Because if anyone could forget something like that, it would be Larry. Edgy, you believe me? I just knew that our friendship is something special. Anyway, even if Larry had simply forgotten the sword and left it behind, that in no way clears his name. Which means that I will have to prove his innocence from a different angle. I think that's every... Nope, the claw. Okay, that's the same thing, just no zoom in on the plant. Yeah. I think all I have left to examine is the statue. There was the exact same statue sitting in that Babaly's office we examined. It's the Primiduck statue. It was the national treasure of the Principality of Codopia. There was only one of these statues, meaning that one of the two was a replica, but both Alabast and Babal claimed to have the real thing. What an incredibly childish fight to have. Alright, that's jotted down. I won't rest until I've suspected every Oh, okay. Well, there's the statue. The Primiduck statue, there was one of these on the Bubbly side. I heard it's very valuable, made of pure gold. It was the national treasure of Codopia. There was only one of these statues, meaning that one of these two is a replica, but both of them claim to have the thing, while bunch of them claim. Okay, thank you for repeating that. Now it's a check mark, so... Is that the only thing? Yep, I was just going to repeat that dialogue. Yep. Can confirm, spacebar does not fast forward all text. Okay, back at this. Alright, so now what? It's one of two things, because I can go into like deduce mode here, and I can go into deduce mode here. But he said that there was something for me like to contradict this. But I don't know what it would be. Obviously not my badge. No. Well, the spear is straight in that picture. So would this be it?
Eureka!
Larry, about the spear. Oh, are you feeling it? Bam! I thought there was something strange about this spear. Tell me, Larry, is it just me or is the spear a bit bent? What? No way, it's exactly as it should be, yo. I have here the autograph you wrote for me earlier. Now take a good look at on which you drew with your own hands. You can see that the spear is clearly at a different shape. Ah! What do you have to say about that? I'm sorry. When I hold the spear in my hands, all of a sudden I feel super powerful, and then during practice I was spinning it around and around, and bam! It hit the wall! You almost believe this is an embassy! But I've always been like that. Ever since I was a kid. One time, on an overnight field trip, I bought a fake sword and played with it late that night. I'm just a useless hot-blood man. Larry, clarify that for me, will you? Okay, so it was some field trip and I began to shadow fight with myself. Not that. I meant what you said earlier about spinning the spear and hitting the wall. Oh, that. It's no biggie. It's not like I left a hole or anything. That's not what I'm asking, Larry. The samurai spear is made of metal. I somehow doubt that a move as simple as spinning it around would cause it to bend. Man, Edgy, you're so naive. What? Where did that come from? Well, you keep calling it the samurai spear. But it's not real. You can't really fight someone with it. Because it's hollow on the inside. You could hit it against practically anything and it would bend. Is that so? Don't tell me you thought it was real. Oh, but don't take it the wrong way. I just think that part of your personality is cute. I see, your friendship truly is something special, Miles Edgeworth. That's not friendship, it's utter humiliation. So does that mean the sword is fake too? Well, I guess we did say he was bludgeoned to death. Okay, so I already did everything here. This was the other thing that it lets me go into investigative mode, so that means I have something here too. I don't know what. Oh, it's facing a different direction. Because currently it's facing us, like its back is to the wall. Right now it's facing left. Eureka! Look at this photo and tell me what you find odd about this scene, Ms. Von Karma. The apparent joy on the ambassador's face as he shakes that top knot's hand? That's not it. I was trying to point out that the statue in the photo is facing a different way. You're right. The statue is a national treasure. As such, only an ambassador or a secretary-level person is allowed to handle it. The fact that the statue is facing one way in this photo, and now it's facing a different direction in the preserved crime scene, is proof that someone touched the statue around the time of the crime. Dun dun dun. I guess that about wraps up my investigation. That's... Yo, Pink Princess, how you feeling? Still feeling ill? And yet another strange character comes out of the woodwork. And so the Pink Princess also comes to play the Alabastian Embassy a visit. I believe I may need to speak with her as well. Okay. Miss Pink Princess, I have a few questions I'd like to ask you. Miss Pink Princess, if you would. Oh my god, you again. Me! Heh, this must be what they call fate. How could this happen 2 days in a row? What the? Aren't you Miss Oldback? Why are you so surprised? Ah, so you're the one that got to play the Steel Samurai. It's too bad I didn't realize that until now. You are acquaintances with Larry? Well, yes, we worked at the same company for a little while, you know. That's why it's okay, Mr. My Edgy Poo. You don't need to be jealous. I was in the next room, you know, trying to get in some beauty sleep. But it was so noisy here that I couldn't fall asleep, so I came over to complain. So I imagined my shock when I saw my precious Edgy Poo waiting here for me. I mean, who could have imagined that you would ever come to a show like this? I guess I've misjudged you, Edgy Poo. You misjudged him? I thought he was trying to avoid me, you know? That was no misjudgment on your part. That's precisely what I was trying to do. but it looks like the winds have shifted and he's now willing to be chased after. I'm simply overwhelmed. Don't you worry, Edgy Poo. I'd chase you forever to the ends of the earth. Isn't that just peachy? This is one of those rare times when Franziska and I actually see eye to eye. Well, Pink Princess. Now then, what are you doing here? I thought you were working at Gatewaterland as the Pink Badger. What are you talking about? That was ages ago. That was yesterday. Look, I work at Global Studios before a long time ago, right? Well, they called me up this morning, kind of out of the blue, actually. They called you? Apparently the girl who played the Pink Princess collapsed from a bad cold. It happened so suddenly, so they called me in to be her last-minute replacement. Do they not have enough people on staff at that studio? I really couldn't say no, so here I am, playing the role of the heroine. Instead of that Mindy girl, I mean. But the poor girl, I feel bad for her. Because they let me stand in for her, she's gonna have a terrible time when she returns. I mean, I'm not exactly— oh my god. Yep, keep going. Alright, did you actually say anything relevant? I'm not exactly great at reading that strange font they use, plus I was called in to be a stand-in at the very last second, so I tripped over all of my most important lines. I threw that ragdoll instead of the shuriken, hit the steel samurai instead of the enemy, and that audience was in such an uproar, but as an advent grade actress, they'll forgive me, because I tell you, they're really just a bunch of simpletons. Ugh. You're a rather lively old lady. So basically, you received a standard request this morning, correct? You got it. If you need to see it, I got it right here. It appears that she is telling the truth. I tell you, my fine acting moved the entire audience to tears. Yes, tears of laughter, as I recall. But being famous has its problems too, you know. Here, take a look at this. It's a letter from a stalker. Wendy, I'll be descending on you from above tonight. Your lovely night. I was just taking my break when I found this. Wasn't the other person named Mindy? Or is Wendy what this old lady's name is? I was just taking my break when I found this stuck under my door to my room. Honestly, oh. I think Larry wrote that. I think he was trying to go down the chimney to surprise Mindy, not realizing it was Old Bag. You really have to watch out for these kind of things. Look what it says. Wendy, I'll be descending on you from above tonight. Your loving night. How absolutely revolting. I mean, you think you can get my name right. There's no accent in my name. Wait, this horrible handwriting. Where have I seen this before? It's gonna match the handwriting on the autograph. Now that you're here, Edgy Poo, I feel 100% safe. Where do I factor into this? You'd bust that evil stalker man for my sake, wouldn't you, Edgy Poo? Well, if you allow me the liberty to handle this in my own way, I'll gladly dispatch a detective to your house later. Oh, come on, Edgy Poo, stop being so dismissive and playing hard to get. Time of the murder. What were you doing at the time of the crime? What crime? What? After the show was over, I had nothing but free time on my hands. So I used the fireplace in the room next door. Yep. Well, a murder occurred in the room right next to yours. Is that right? Oh, Edgy Poo, I'm so scared. Hold me, caress me. God damn it. If you could please not cling on to my personage. In any case, I take it then that you failed to show up at Ambassador Alba's speech? Oh, that? No, I didn't go. I mean, I may have had the heart of a young, tender maiden, but my body just refuses to cooperate at times. As soon as the show ended, my hips started acting up and got stiff. I couldn't move at all. Can you provide proof of your condition? Oh, you just go on ahead and ask the doctors in the infirmary. They're the ones who carried me from the theater all the way to this embassy. I have to admit, the thought of her not being able to leave the room is rather unpleasant. Oh wait, no. I think that said is rather present. Prosecutor Von Carmel, I brought the police dog as you requested. Good work, you may leave now, doggy. This dog. I requested the assistance of a dog in our search for the Agarazu. Looks like you guys have some pretty bright dogs in this country, too. Hey, you're a real cutie, aren't you? Yeah, that's a good boy. That's the police dog Gumshoe's been taking care of. I think its name is Missile. What a fitting name for a police dog that dashes out in front and attacks. That action alone isn't exactly what's going to solve the case for us. Now, Missile, I want you to find some clues. Go. Well, man, he's good. Good dog, you really are quite bright, aren't you? Unlike a certain someone I know. Now, what do we have here? What is this? It looks like a small hot dog, but... wait, Francisca, isn't that an official samurai dog? Ah, no, bad missile. He ate it. I wonder if it's alright for him to eat that. It's just a meat substance snack featuring the Steel Samurai. I'm sure he'll be fine. It's quite a bit of information you gathered there in a single quick glance. We should really be focusing on why there was a samurai dog there in the first place. It looks like that snack wasn't all missile found. Oh, what do we have here? It appears to be a lady's undershirt. I wonder if Ambassador Alba might have an interesting cross-dressing. I somehow doubt that. It doesn't look like the shirt would even fit him. A samurai dog and a lady's undershirt. What are these two items doing in a room like this? Given the circumstances, the lady's undershirt could only belong to one person. I suppose I should get this over with and ask the owner of said undershirt about it. Oh, do I not have to ask her? Or do I have to present? There's only one person here who would own such a shirt. If you could please take a look at this brown-colored undershirt. Oh, Edgy-Poo, what is the meaning of this? Why did you steal that thing from my bags? All you had to do was ask, and I would have gladly have given you as many as you'd like. Thanks, but no thanks. This shirt was found here at the crime scene. What? Come now, why don't you just confess, and explain what it's doing here? I know nothing, nothing, I tell you! What? Oh, I admit that I used the fireplace to dry that shirt, but I can't really help the fact that I had to, you know? Wearing that pink princess costume was like being in a sauna. And on top of that, I get figured as a suspect? You're too cool, Edgy-Poo. Are you claiming that you never once set foot inside this room? Of course I am. If I had been the one to find the body, do you think I'd be as calm and relaxed as I am? I tell you, it's always like... I guess I'm stuck burying you. Well, I don't believe she is lying about her actions, so I can safely assume she really was drying her shirt in the fireplace on her break. And somehow the undershirt managed to move from the next room into this... I assume the samurai dog was also yours? Ah, that brilliant mind of yours. You really can see through everything about me. And so the feeling of dread continues, but I suppose I should ask more details. Okay, samurai dogs. That samurai dog was yours, wasn't it? Oh, of course, I'm forever yours, my edgy wedgy poo. If you could just stick to what I asked you. Edgy, are you and Miss Oldbag? No. You really don't change, do you? When will you learn how to take a joke? Anyway, that samurai dog wasn't mine. Those things are a present from the studio to the embassy. A present? The studio bigwigs basically told us to play delivery boys. We were supposed to hand the dogs off at the embassy people and tell them hi. I had to pile them all into the pushcart just to move them all. Those studio guys should have delivered those things themselves, right, Edgy? So did you deliver the samurai dogs to the embassy staff as per your instructions? Hey, Edgy, don't just ignore me and my questions. Are you going to stick up for me? Ah, about that. See, after the show, I went to rest a spell in the dressing room, because of my bad hip, you know. And there they were, the samurai dogs just sitting on the dressing room floor. I suppose you had to make preparations for distributing them after the show? Well, if by preparations you mean sampling them as well. Excuse me? Oh, I tried one and thought they were actually quite good. Sorry, but I just had to find out. I know it was silly of me to think this, but I figured that since they're for a kid's show, their taste was probably for kids too. But they were so good that I couldn't stop. Before I went back to my room, I just had to help myself to half a dozen or so boxes. Jesus. As I sat there by the roaring fire, warming them and eating them, I thought, this is... What is it? Oh, I know. I bet you want a box too, don't you, my edgy boo? Well, who am I to say no to you? But I'll only give you one. The rest are all for me. Okay. Looks like the lesson for today is that when the Steel Samurai and the Pink Princess take off their masks, they transform into a pair of annoying troublemakers. Yeah. Okay, so nobody else comes in. Anything for the doggy? Much bigger help than I thought he'd be. However, there are a few aspects I don't understand about what he found. In that case, you should keep on investigating until you do understand. Alright. So I think at this point now, it's just... Can I link anything? So these two go together. There is no trace of this room's fireplace being used, and your point is, smoke was supposedly pouring out of the chimney connected to this fireplace. At least according to Larry, this is a contradiction of facts, is it not? Are you sure he wasn't just disoriented or something up on the roof? There is testimony from an investigator that put Larry at this particular chimney, so no, I don't think it was a mistaken impression on Larry's part. On the other hand, the fireplace in the next room was being used at the time. Where do you suppose the smoke from that fireplace went? Ah, I see. So what you're proposing is this. The smoke that came out of the chimney was actually from Miss Oldbag's fire. So basically the fireplace of neighboring rooms. Share one chimney, is that what you're implying? Precisely. And then that would be how the shirt got here if they share a chimney. The lady's undershirt that Missile found. Ow. Why are you getting all excited over holding onto a lady's undergarment? Miles Edgeworth, you uncouth sea slug. If you know the owner of said undershirt, then hurry up and return it to her already. You have it all wrong, this is evidence. And the owner of this piece of evidence was in the room next door. And yet, despite that, Missile found it in the fireplace of this room. This lady's undershirt. Are you seriously claiming that it somehow passed through a solid brick wall? You literally just said the chimneys are connected. The fireplace in this room is connected to a chimney, and the other fireplace in the other room is also connected to the same chimney, leading us to the possibility that the two fireplaces are connected to each other. Perhaps a closer look at the back of this fireplace is in order. There's an X on the back wall of the fireplace. Let's see if I can get a better look at it. What in the... The wall separating this room's fireplace from the next apparently turns. As I suspected, the fireplace does indeed connect this room to the neighboring room. There appears to be nothing particular about the next room, but the fact that there is nothing special about the next room isn't what's important. It's the fact that there is a secret passageway through this room's fireplace. We now know that the fireplace connects the two rooms, but how exactly is that significant? You aren't going to suddenly name the old lady as Damastu's killer now, are you? No, she couldn't move at all because of her stiff hip, so she could not have been the one. Unfortunately, I believe that this fireplace has nothing whatsoever to do with Damastu's murder. Yay! It would appear that the answer has made itself known. You're making quite a confident face there, Mr. Prosecutor. Bring it on, I'm ready to counter any argument you may have. Very well then, if you are prepared, I'll show you exactly where my deductions have led me. Good, I'm counting on you, Edgy. Leave it to me, Larry. My first attack will be to expose your lie for what it really is. My lie? I know that there is still something you are keeping from the rest of us. What's wrong with you? Why is it you won't believe me no matter what I say, Edgy? Curse you, I should just hurry up and die already if this is how it's gonna be. I'll confess to every murder in the whole world and then kill myself. Oh my god. And throw everything into mass confusion. You made some wonderful friends as a child, I see. Larry, I only have one thing to say to you. Even you make that face at me, it's no use. A man who's ready to die is strong-willed, you know. Larry, it doesn't matter what sort of harebrained trouble you've caused. I only ask that you do not lie to me. If you cause an innocent person to be judged unfairly because of some insipid lie, I will never forgive you. Edgy. Although allow me to say that I consider you to be among the innocent in this case, and that I will draw the real killer out. You can trust me on this. Alright, this time I'll tell you the whole truth, okay? What happened, what didn't happen, the works. Just what happened will do. Now then, if you would please testify as to what you did on the roof tonight. Up on the roof. Testimony time. which we will do next time. Save. Quick, before I blue screen. Save complete. Alright. Bye-bye before I blue screen. Must save recording. Talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.